All right, with Coach Barclay, 2 weeks in the book, scrimmage coming up tomorrow. Running back stable starting to shape up and get some consistency about it, but obviously never happy totally, always wanting more. Tell me a little bit about the guys that you've got in the backfield and how much growth that you've seen from them over the last 2 weeks.
Well, it's been a steady improvement. Every day we focus on improving in some area, and this last couple practices, I think we've really started to make some strides, not only in the running game, but I think we're starting to make some strides in the passing game, picking up the blitz and identifying pre-snap reads and stuff. So it's allowing us to play a little faster. Devin Johnson, again, has been awesome. Every day has really worked his tail off, and Remy Watson the same. And Stuart Butler's really come along. This has probably been, since I've been here, his best week of practice. He's put together about 4 or 5 practices here in a row that have been excellent. In the running game and picking up the blitz. That's something he's still got to improve on, picking up the blitz, but he's improving in that area. And I'll tell you who has really improved this week is Tony Pittman. Tony Pittman has really emerged. He's very physical, and you're seeing it, and he's looking more comfortable in the offense and playing faster from the neck up. So we're excited about where we're headed as a unit right now.
You hit so many points that I want to ask you about. We'll first start with playing with a beat-up offensive line with a lot of the starters beaten, banged up, giving some of those backup guys some opportunities. Not only does that help them to get comfortable with game speed, but also how does that help the offense as a whole, especially those running backs, of having to run behind guys that maybe can't hold protection quite as long and forcing them to be able to get to a hole and try to get it upfield?
Well, it's always a challenge. Anytime you have injuries up front, that unit is all about chemistry. Those 5 guys have to act as one and be on the same accord. And so anytime you're able or you have to replace one of those guys, there's some chemistry issues there. And the new guy has to learn quickly and get coached up by the older guys. And I think that offensive line unit is probably one of the more veteran groups on this team. And so they have some great leadership in there, and they're really bringing those young guys along quickly. For our backs, it's always good to get behind some younger guys. They'll make some mistakes, as any young guy does, but at the same time, it helps them. Come time when we're behind the starters, the guys that have a little bit more experience, we're a little bit more ready for adversity, if you will. Blocks that may not be sustained quite as long as some of the starters that we may have, and so when we get behind that 5, that's a veteran group, the starters, we have a lot more success, and we're ready for things if things break down. So it really helps us tremendously.
Let's run through all the guys in your stable. We'll start first with Devin Johnson, a kid that carried the ball less than 10 times last year, less than 20 yards the entire season, and now here he is emerging as what could possibly be the starting tailback come Miami. What is it about Devin and his work ethic that has vaulted him to the position he's at, and also been a very productive performer out of that backfield for the Herd?
I think it's just his attention to detail. He's very coachable. I don't really have to tell him things multiple times. I can say one thing and point out something in film session, and by the time we get ready to take the field for the next practice, the adjustment has been made. And as a coach, you can appreciate that. He's just an excellent listener, and he's very athletic for a bigger kid. He's very athletic, so he can present problems not just inside with his physicality and his size, but on the perimeter. He's got surprising agility for a thicker body kid, and so we're just excited about what he brings to the table. And he's a team guy. He's all about team, and he has a strong affection for Cato, and he takes it personal in protecting him. Anytime you have that sort of mentality back there, I think it really bodes for success.
Remy Watson today busted a nice run on a dive play in which the hole opened up perfectly, and I noticed that he's taken a lot of your advice. Get it north and south, young man, and boy did he ever. And as soon as he returned to the huddle, I watched him go down the line and every lineman give him a pat on the backside. How much does that mean to those young linemen up front to have a guy like Remy step up and say, good job, you're doing your job, and that'll let me do mine?
Well, one thing I've always told my backs, and it's something that kind of came from my playing days, is, those 5 guys are the unsung heroes. Those are the guys that they don't get a lot of press. They don't get a lot of, commentary, but they do an excellent job. I mean, without establishing a line of scrimmage, I mean, you can't get anything done. And so those guys really set the tone every play. And so you have to make sure you praise those guys. You praise the big guys now, and love those guys up because, at the end of the day, we need them in order to function. And they are the heart and soul of this offense. And so, I think that some of those guys like Remy and those other guys are really listening and doing a good job of that. And I think the big guys really appreciate it.
Stu Butler, as you mentioned, had probably his best week of camp this week, and seeing consistency and improvement every day out of him, especially in the blitz drill where he's having to pick up pass protection. But for him too, it's been finding that hole, getting the seam, and getting upfield. What is the biggest difference that you've noticed in Stu from last week to this week?
Just his patience, his eye discipline. I mean, when I first got here in the spring, I mean, we would call plays and you had no idea where he was going to go. I mean, it was almost as if he was a little league type player with his eyes. There's no eye discipline. He's just always looking to catch the sideline and run away from everybody. But now I think he's much more disciplined with his eyes. He's seeing and reading the right things. And therefore it's allowing him to play faster, not just at the first level, but on the second level of the defense as well. So, as far as him picking up the blitzes, I think he's getting better pre-snap reads. That's something that I'm not sure that he was taught before or knew before, and that's something I really tried to hone in on with him and the other guys so that they can play fast when the ball is snapped and not just be surprised when the ball is snapped. So he's done an excellent job, put a really good week together, and we're very excited about the direction he's headed.
And the other guy that's been running this week, the freshman, Tony Pittman, had some big runs, including one yesterday that took Arnold Blackman off his feet on contact. This young man's a head of steam. He's 201 pounds, and you've talked about him so much as he moves so well for his size. Tell me a little bit about him and how much the game has the game started to slow down for him, because I know the first week you said his head was spinning off his shoulders.
Oh, yeah. The game has really, really slowed down for him. I mean, the first week, like you said, he was all over the place. Things were happening a million miles an hour for him. But I think with film sessions, and he and I have had some personal film sessions, and he's, the thing about him is it means something to him. He asks a lot of questions. He's watching film, and it matters to him. And so, consequently, he's out here early and he stays late, and he's putting in the extra work, and so the game is starting to slow down for him. And like you said, I mean, he's a very strong kid. I mean, physically, he looks the part now. He looks like blue twisted steel. And, when he gets low and gets behind his pads, get out of the way and watch out. I mean, because he's going to be something special. A very physical runner, which is, a bit of a change up from a Stuart Butler, who's more of a speed, shifty guy. But then you're able to put in a bigger, powerful guy like that kind of complements Stu and Devin. I mean, you have a lot of different options in the backfield, and all of those kids are coming along, and I feel like all of those kids we will need this season.
With all the different elements that you have through your stable this year with running backs, unlike past seasons when it's mostly just the running backs have depended solely on speed, this year you have a collection of power runners with Johnson and Pittman, and you got your speedy guys with Bird when he comes back, and then obviously Watson and Butler. How difficult does that make defensive schemes for the teams that Marshall's going to play this year to have to put up and figure out who's going to be doing this, who's going to be doing that week after week?
Oh, it's very difficult. I mean, as a defensive coordinator, I can only imagine, if you have those type of guys in your program, then I guess you can prepare for it. But you have so many type of runners in our backfield that it really presents some problems. You may have a speedy guy, you may have a shifty guy, but you may not have a 240-pound tailback. I mean, that's actually athletic and has good agility in space, and so it can present a lot of problems, to prepare your defense for that many different running styles that you may see in the game. So, we're just going to keep bringing all those guys along and hope that, when time comes, all of them are ready, and I feel really good about what direction we're headed. So we're good.
Coach, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.